Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey, Brian. Hopefully you can hear me, because if you're actually talking, nobody can hear you.
I accidentally
Yeah.
muted myself. So I was actually talking to myself there. So glad that
And the dogs. Don't forget the dogs. All right. Hi, everybody. It's
All right.
Brian.
Yep. Starting over again. Hey everyone, it's Brian Kos here. I'm joined by my friend and business partner, Sean Casey, who you just heard. This is another Wednesday marketing webinar. And on this call, we thought that we basically would take essentially the call to give you guys a lot of chances to have any remaining questions or anything that you guys have pertaining to anything, with marketing or Webfire, basically anything at all. You can ask us any questions, even pertaining to your business. If there's like a question you had, or if you need other ideas, or if you have to, or you're not quite sure how to market your product, or how to approach a partner, or what kind of upsells you should have, or what you should get into, like anything like that. Feel free to ask that here. So since last week, we had a call on like, new plans and stuff for the new year, to actually give you action plans and stuff to do. And we've had a bunch of other good calls prior. We thought, we'd give you guys some extra time to make sure that all your questions, regardless of what they are, basically get answered here. So I'll get basically to that in a few minutes. But in the meantime, feel free to write your questions, because this call will basically be dependent entirely upon you, and what your questions are, and we'll try to basically answer them as best as we can. So if you have any questions, especially stuff like, if you're trying to make new plans or have new marketing goals or anything for the new year, and you want a little guidance or want some help, now's your chance to basically ask that here. So feel free to type those out in the chat box here, and we'll get answering them in a couple minutes here. All right, and as you probably know, we have these calls Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, which is right now. And if you're here or you're registered for this series, you'll get a reminder each time. But if you can't make one, that's okay, because we'll have the recordings up within a day, usually, and they would always be within the training tab on the left side navigation bar. So you click on the training, then you click on the Wednesday calls, and you'll see the most recent ones at the very top. This one you'll see there within a day. So either by the end of the day or by the start of tomorrow, you should see that there. And if you want a chance to win $100, make sure that you join our free Facebook group, which you can get to by going to getwebfire.com/FB group. If you're not already a free member, just go there right now, click the join button. Sharon will approve you probably within like a minute or two or three or so. And then towards the end of this call, we'll give you some instructions on what to do. They have a chance to win $100, which we'll do the drawing live towards the end of this call right there. So make sure that you do that. And now we can shortly move on to our training for this week, and where we'll answer all your questions that you've been saving. So make sure to write those out now. And as a side note, last week we did survey you all, or those of you that were on this call, and we basically asked you, what the best way of basically training you was, or what you guys mostly prefer. We gave you a few different options in terms of like, if you like the weekly calls, if you basically prefer weekly videos and we answer questions, on the Facebook page, or if you like a combo or whatnot. And the vast majority of you basically answered that you actually prefer weekly videos, but you also like the occasional call as well. So Sean and I will basically be talking on that, and in the next week or so, we'll let you know what the decision is on that. But most likely, we'll try to do some combination there to you know, help you guys get the training you need in the way that you want. So if you guys prefer, you know, weekly videos that, you know, essentially post up, and then we still answer your questions and stuff, you know, on the Facebook group, we'll do that, as well as we'll still continue to have some live calls and such as well thrown in there as well, to kind of give you like a little bit of the best of both worlds right there. So, you know, as always, we always like to survey you guys to kind of see what you guys like and what you guys most prefer right there. So as you know, always feel free to let us know on any of that stuff, or if there's any topics or any trainings that you'd like us to basically talk on. So for the overview, which will be a pretty easy one right here, we'll be answering all of your questions on basically anything, and then we'll do the cash giveaway after. So this call, again, will be dependent upon you. If you have any questions, feel free to type those now, and we'll go through them as best as we can, including if there's anything that you want us to go through on the browser, or like any sites you want us to look at or anything like that, we're happy to do so. So starting out, if you have any questions, let's see what those are here. So I'm just going to pull up the question box right now and see what we have. All right. Ooh, getting a little bug, so I'm going to restart that box there. There we are. Okay. It just showed me a blank screen of questions. I'm like, that can't be. So I just closed it and reopened it, and now I see all the questions. All right. Going through here. All right. All right. So Beth asks here, she says, hi, I have a funnel designed for my product. What's the best way to drive traffic if I don't have money for Facebook ads? I have no idea how to do the next step. Well, first, Beth, it'd help a little bit if you told us kind of like what your product was, because my answer might actually vary based upon that. Because like if your product is like, let's say a consumer product, that might be completely different than if it's like one for like a business.
Hey, Brian, she typed in dog shampoo.
Dog shampoo. Okay. So there's a few different things there. First of all, when you say you don't have money for Facebook ads, I take that with a grain of salt. Because if you have money to buy a cup of coffee, you have money to at least test some Facebook ads there. So don't think that like Facebook ads requires you to spend like hundreds of dollars or anything like that immediately. You can have a budget of like $5 a day to start, just to basically see. And depending upon what the cost or what the raw cost of your product is, like let's say for the dog shampoo, I don't know your price points or your raw costs or anything, but let's say the stuff itself only costs you like a few bucks, but you charge like, I don't know, 10 or so. That might be the kind of offer that you could do like a free plus shipping on, but then have like a very good funnel after, where you'd want to have several related dog products and such, especially if like the first one's like kind of directly tied into the shampoo. You would probably know best what those might be. It could be as easy as like maybe there's like a special kind of dog towel, maybe there's like a special kind of like not like a shampoo, but almost like I don't know, something like a conditioner or something, or like if there's like a special kind of like a brush to brush out hair, or a special kind of like then to prevent like essentially ticks or anything along those lines right there. And then on top of that, you could also do some impulse buys, like if there's any cute or neat toys that would be a hit with dogs and stuff, and more importantly their owners, because you're really selling to the owners. You'd want to have a good funnel kind of built up like that. So that's one thing that you could do, and you could still basically test off of Facebook ads. But as far as free ways, there's several things that you could do. One is, depending upon, like, I assume there's something special about your dog's shampoo, or at least there should be, or you should look into, like, why people would want to go with yours over another one. And what you could do on that is you could make a series of blog posts, a series of videos that you throw up on YouTube. Using Webfire, you can easily do both. You can make some videos. You can do some blog posts and optimize those. You can use the keyword tool and look for keywords related to dog shampoo and see if any stand out. But as far as the videos, I'm a fan of, like, things like, like the top 5 things to look for in a good dog shampoo, or like stuff like that, where you get people searching for, hey, there's tons and tons and tons of dog shampoos out there. They don't know which ones are the best. They don't know what to really look for. They don't know if there's a difference. They don't know if a $10 one is the same as like a $50 one. They have zero clue with that. So you can kind of educate them on what to look for, but then at the end of it, recommend what the best deal would basically be, or recommend yours and why yours fits that. So that's one way right there. And if you do even like one video or blog post a week, it won't necessarily get you like a giant rush of traffic immediately, but over time you'll see that a handful of those will start to stick, and a handful of those will start to bring in, will essentially start to bring in some traffic, and over time those can turn into sales there. You can also use things like the Ranked Lead Finder and the Tweet Lead Finder and stuff like that to find, or basically any of the lead tools, to find people asking questions or posting online, basically talking about dog shampoo. There's probably a decent amount of leads of people saying stuff like, hey, can anyone recommend a good organic dog shampoo? Or can anyone recommend a good dog shampoo for this dog or that dog? And if you start to, with Webfire, if you set yourself up to get those leads, you can take like a minute or two to basically respond to those, where you're providing value first and foremost. Like if someone's asking for, hey, what's a good organic dog shampoo, or whatever it might be, you can respond back and say, hey, you really want to look for one that has this, this, and that. A good one that's at a decent price you can find right here, and you can link to that right there. You can also try to list it on places like Amazon and stuff as well, but make sure to check out your competitors first and see what makes them stand out. See if they're advertising certain things. Like if there's certain ingredients that are really important, you want to make sure that you try to separately rank for essentially terms related to shampoo that includes those ingredients. Like someone might go to Google and type in dog shampoo with such and such ingredient. So you can try to actually rank for all those type terms as well. Like you might have, I don't know, like 2, 3, or 4 special ingredients in your shampoo that people might search for or want. So that's a free way that you could start right there. All right, Jay asked here, what's a good way to build a targeted B2B list? So in case you don't know, B2B stands for business to business. So that'd be like if you sell a service where you rank websites, you'd be selling a service probably to other businesses. Whereas if you sell like, let's say dog shampoo, you would be in the B2C, which is you're basically a business selling to a consumer instead, in most cases. So for a business list, well, there's a few things that you can actually do here. One is it depends what your goal is. So they said here that they want to build a B2B list. It really depends upon what your intention is. So if your intention is to find like a small list of like high value prospects that could be worth a fortune that you want to directly market to, you could use, again, some of our lead tools. You could also use the backlink tool inside Webfire, which can actually find, where your competitors get the majority of the traffic from, and where those places get their traffic from as well. So you can see that, hey, it looks like this guy that sells, whatever service seems to get a decent amount of traffic from this place right here, and you can reach out to that place and see, what they might charge you for like an ad, or if they'll do like, I guess blog post, or you can reach out directly to them and actually email them through Webfire to try to make a deal with them as well. So that's one way right there. You can also, if you're trying to rank for terms, you could try to think of, hey, what would a business prospect look for? What kind of search terms would they look for? Use the keyword tool to try to elaborate even more on that. And then like once a week or so, pick like one or two topics to write either a blog post on, or a web page on, or a video on. And over time, you'll get ranked, and you'll start to pull in a lot of that traffic. We also have, if you want, like let's say you're looking more for like, let's say you sell an SEO service to dentists, and let's say you want to target, let's say, dentists in Atlanta or something like that. And then the week after, you want to target dentists in Madison or whatever it might be, or dentists in London, or Sydney, or wherever it might be. We actually have a tool that might be of interest to you. It's called Lead Power Machine, and that's one that you basically type in a term like, let's say, dentist, and then you type in a location anywhere in the world, and it basically pulls up all the business leads relevant to that right there, and it gets you contact info like their email, their phone, their address, their name, and a whole bunch of other info right there that could be of interest to you. We also have another lead tool called Domain Lead Pro, which finds all the new businesses that registered a new domain name based upon a keyword. So if there's a keyword that you're looking for, you can find all the new businesses that registered that. So that's a good way to have like an instant B2B list on top of all the other things that I mentioned right there. But I find also, like, if you have like a high value product or service, it's like, let's say where a single deal could be worth, let's say tens of thousands of dollars, is sometimes worth your time to like do the extra research and individually contact and approach a handful of the business leads right there. All right. So Jared asked here, what is a good lead magnet for selling SEO services, and how can I actually sell the SEO services Webfire has or Webfire offers? So there's several good things that you can do. In fact, we have a lot of calls specifically on just how to do that. So definitely check those prior ones out. But as far as like a lead magnet, you want an offer that is like an irresistible offer, that when people see it, they're like, man, I want to check out that. I want that now. And one thing you could do with that is, I'd say, the better the offer that you have for either free or like, insanely cheap to just get your foot in the door, the more likely you are to grab a person's attention. So there's a few things that you can do right here, and I'll just give you a few examples. But first, as far as like how to sell the SEO service, is kind of related to how to get like a lead magnet. So let's say that you want to let's say you want to target an SEO service for dentists. Okay, it can be for anything. That's just the first example right here. One thing that you could do, which is like an awesome lead magnet, is where you make a recording of your screen, where you basically do, let's say, a Google search. Okay, and let's say you do one for like dentist in Atlanta or something like that. And then on your recording, you basically say, hey, you see how there's like a few guys that are ranked really high here, and you see how there's some guys on page 2 or 3 here, and then you basically give reasons why some guys rank high and why some guys don't. You can say, hey, there's several things that can help a site rank. One of the big ones is they're trying to target relevant keywords in their title tag. And you see right here, these top 3 all have the relevant keyword in their title tag or in their description, or oftentimes both. And that helps a lot. Whereas if you look on page 2 or page 3, these guys don't have that same term there. That's probably why they're on page 2 or page 3. And if you want to go like the extra mile, you can even show like a website analysis report for each one and say, hey, here's a report of one that's ranked number 1. You can see all this great stuff here. Here's a report of one that's ranked on page 3. You can see that they do a really bad job here and all this stuff. And then you basically explain why some guys rank and why some guys don't. And then so you're basically like giving these guys free info essentially. But the natural question that they all have is what? Is, okay, cool. Can you do that for me? So you don't have to sell them at this point because they're already convinced that you know what you're doing, because you just basically told them and showed them why some rank and why some guys don't. And then at that point right there, there's a couple options. One, you could try to sell the service directly at that point, or two, you could just offer to do like a free analysis of their site, where all you need is like a handful of keywords that they're trying to rank for, as well as their URL or their link. And once they've seen a video of you showing that off, a lot of them are like, man, I'm really curious to see what mine looks like. And if you offer a free analysis and say that you'll basically email them an analysis or whatever it might be, you basically want to make it so it's not a lot of work for them. That can kind of get your foot in the door, and then naturally, even after that, the next question that they all have is, okay, can you do that for me? And then you just basically sell them on the service. Now, a lot of people oftentimes have the question of, well, if I show them what's wrong with their site, won't they just, basically fix it themselves? They're all concerned about that. And the answer is, in like 99% of cases, I'd say no, because like these are business owners. They're dentists, they're chiropractors, they're people that have some other thing that they sell on online or offline. They don't really know how to do that stuff. Even if you tell them, they don't understand it. It'd be kind of like I'm not like a handyman or anything like that. So like if a guy came to my house, like let's say my AC broke down, I could have a technician say, oh, your problem is this. This needs to be replaced, and this does too. Do you think most guys say, oh, well, I'll just go buy those parts myself online. I'll take the whole thing apart myself, and I'll fix it all myself. Thanks for telling me what's wrong. Or do you think most say, oh, cool, go ahead and fix it? I mean, almost everyone will say, go ahead and fix it, because they're not an expert in that. Same thing like, if there's a leak in a pipe, I might know that, hey, I know where the leak is. I have a rough idea of how to fix it, but I'm not an expert in that, and I definitely, wouldn't want to be basically taking the time to basically fix that, where I might not even do a good job. I might get stuff completely wrong. I'd rather just pay a guy to fix it for me. And business owners are the same way. And what's cool is that oftentimes the fixes that a lot of these guys need are not hard to do. And you're not trying to get paid based upon the time. You're trying to get paid based upon the benefit or the results that you give. So, it might be as easy as changing around a couple keywords in their title or their description or on their site, or maybe adding a schema or something along those lines right there. But the results can be absolutely huge, and it can be worth a lot of money. You can also there's other ways of selling where you could sell like a schema first, which we've had some calls on that, and then from that you can lead on basically into more ongoing SEO. Whereas with that, you say, hey, here's a site that has a schema. Here's one that does not. I see that you don't have one. If you're interested in learning how to get one, or want to take us up on a special deal here, feel free to reach out to us right here. Where if you have like an awesome deal, like let's say you charge $500 for a schema, which basically takes you like 5 to 10 minutes to do with our tool, that can be a really awesome lead magnet, even for like a higher price point, and then it can lead into some ongoing sales as well. You can also, again, this is like the kind of thing where you can approach leads out there using the lead tools. You can find guys asking questions on SEO or on ranking and stuff like that. You can answer them and get some leads that way. You can also try to rank for various terms. I mean, you can also even try some paid ads. I mean, there's heaps of different ways that you can get your services and stuff known out there. And we have lots of calls on just that too. So definitely check that out if you want some more info. All right, James asks here, what are your thoughts on membership sites and how does Webfire help me with them? So Webfire helps with basically any kind of service or product you have. It doesn't really matter what you sell. If it's a physical product, if it's a digital one, if it's a service, if it's a normal website, if it's a membership site, it's not dependent upon what kind of thing you sell. So at the end of the day, it comes down to finding relevant leads, getting relevant rankings and all that, and that does not matter what you sell at all. Now, as far as my thoughts on a membership site as a whole, it depends upon what kind of membership it is. Like you want to make sure that you have a product or a service that basically people are willing to pay for that offers value. And without really knowing what your membership is, it's hard for me to really say or give specific advice on that right there. But there's lots of things that for the monthly price, they'll have access to software, or they'll have access to let's say a physical product each month, or that they'll have access to maybe ongoing training. I think the key with the membership is to, again, give them value and give them a reason to basically stay. And on top of it, on the front end, you want to do as much as you can to kind of give them a taste of what they could get there, because it's harder to make a monthly sale upfront than it would be the same price as a one-time price. So you want to make sure that you kind of have a lot of value, maybe have a really good lead magnet where maybe you give something away for free, and then that leads into a cheap one-time offer, and then that leads into maybe as an upsell, you have a membership offer for some additional essentially benefits. And if they turn that down, maybe you offer a $1 trial or a free trial, just to kind of get a lot of leads in that way as well. But feel free, if you let me know exactly what the membership is offhand, we could probably give you more specific advice and such. Okay. Okay. All right, Christine asked here, can two separate affiliate offers be linked to one payment system? Not quite sure what you're asking there, but I think the question, the answer would be, it depends upon what the affiliate offer is. So let's say if there's affiliate offers on ClickBank, there might be thousands of affiliate offers all linked through basically ClickBank. Whereas there might be millions of affiliate offers on Amazon all linked through Amazon. But what I think the person's asking is, could you have an affiliate offer on ClickBank be linked up to a system where you also have a separate affiliate offer for Amazon? And that really, I think, depends. In some cases, no. In some cases, yes. Feel free to clarify exactly what you're basically asking, but sometimes different affiliate systems don't necessarily link up, but I'm not quite sure if that's your question, because I'm a bit confused on that, so feel free to clarify. Okay, going on. All right, so she clarifies by saying, yeah, I'm not quite sure. You're saying that there's only one spot on most systems for one affiliate link, but what if on that same system you want to promote another offer? Again, not quite sure what you're basically asking there. So on ClickBank or Amazon, you can have multiple offers there. Even on your own stuff, if you're promoting stuff, you can have as many separate affiliate links as you want. So again, feel free to clarify some, and I'll get back to that. All right, this person asked here, what are the most powerful elements of WebFire and why? It really depends upon what your uses are of it. So one of the main benefits of WebFire is that it really has like all the main kind of tools you'd need for like leads and traffic and SEO all in one place. So like if you want to do like a website, analysis, you can do that. But on top of that, it will also tell you what the issues are, and you can instantly fix those through WebFire. If you want to do, a bunch of keyword research, it has all that stuff right there. If you want to, make and distribute, let's say content or videos, you can do that stuff with some other tools built into WebFire. If you want to find leads, we have a bunch of different lead tools right there. Some are like really awesome where, again, you can find sites that are ranked on page 1 relevant to your keyword that allow you to leave a comment on it. You can find new leads, on forums and blogs, Q&A sites. You could find leads on social media, like all that right there. You can research your competitors and see where they get their traffic from and reach out to those guys with, essentially a touch of a button. You can put your social media on autopilot by automating, your posts and stuff. So there's a whole bunch of different things right there that you really won't find, all those in one area and basically integrated so well, which is one of the main things right there. Okay. All right. So Jeremy asks here. He says, I have an idea for a website, but I don't know how to build a website. Well, I've tried but got lost in all the stuff and how to put it on a site. I have been using Wix to build my site, but I keep messing up. I don't have the spare funds to get someone to build a site. At the same time, I want to keep my idea a secret until the site goes live, as what I want to offer is a very clever way to make a new income from the web. Well, few things right there. One is one of the easiest. So if you're brand new and like, let's say you get lost even with like a simple builder, like let's say like a Wix. One of the easiest ones out there and also free is Blogger.com, BLOGGER.com. You can be brand new and you can make a basic blog in a few minutes. I've actually done live walkthroughs on some past calls where I've actually made a site in under 3 minutes. And don't think it's, because I'm like a tech guy or anything like that, because I'm not. It was like literally you pick a name, you pick a template, and then you basically click on post and you write. Like not terribly tough. Now, of course, you can customize and do a lot more stuff, but if you're brand new, that's the easiest thing to start. Now, if you have a more complex idea, like I don't know exactly what you're trying to sell, but if you have a more complex idea, you're saying you don't have the spare funds to get someone to build a site, but again, I say you're probably wrong on that, because if you have like $5 or $10 or maybe $20, you can get guys on Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com, to basically build almost anything fairly cheaply. There's some that will do it for as little as $5 bucks. They'll do like a very, very basic site. A more elaborate one might be more. But it's fairly inexpensive. And if you're confident that your idea is so awesome, you shouldn't be afraid to put a little bit of money in it. I mean, you're basically telling me that, hey, you have this really awesome idea. You're afraid to tell anyone. You think it will make a ton of money, but you're afraid to put like, basically $20 into it, which tells me you're not confident that it really would necessarily make a ton of money. So I think first of all you have to have a little more confidence in yourself there first, and also kind of map out your idea. And then with that, don't be afraid that like you have to keep everything a secret, because the truth is, any idea you've had, there's probably been 100 guys with the same idea, and the ones that usually win are the ones that take action on it. If you sit back and let's say you keep it a secret to yourself and you wait years and years and years, someone else will beat you to it that wasn't afraid to get some help. So definitely, like, don't let that hold you back there, especially like, if you're afraid of like, let's say telling like a website designer, you know, you're thinking the wrong way, because a website designer, they want to build websites, they want to get paid for building websites. They're not about to like run and steal like an idea of yours, because that's not the way that they think. You know, it's kind of like, you know, like let's say it's like let's say you call up like a pizza place and you call up like a worker there, and you want to have a certain kind of pizza made, but you know, your mentality is, man, I have a really awesome idea for like a pizza that would taste really, really, really awesome, but I don't want to tell him the ingredients, because even though it'd be really awesome and I really love that, I'm afraid he'd think that my pizza is so awesome that he'll go and he'll start his own chain, you know, and he'll make his own pizza, and he'll make this like his main kind of pizza, and he'll make millions of dollars off it. So I don't want to tell him what I want on my pizza because it's such an awesome idea. The problem is there's basically two things. One, I'm sure there's others that have thought of the same idea before. Two, the worker you're talking to, you know, is just a worker. It's not a guy, it's not an entrepreneur that's gonna, you know, usually run with that idea. And I find that if you tend to be overly basically cautious on that stuff, you more than often you shoot yourself in the foot there. But definitely a website should not be holding you back, because like something as easy as blogger.com, you could get made, you know, in like a matter of minutes. If it's more complex, you can hire guys for very, very, very little. So that shouldn't be a major issue there. All right, Jared asked here, what is the most profitable way to use Webfire and make a lot of money from it fast? Well, we actually have calls on just that. So we actually have one of, I think, my favorite calls. There's one that's called, it's in the training and also in the bonus download. It's called like 5 ways to make 1,000 or more quickly with Webfire. And it's not just like stuff where you'd make like 1,000 one time. It's stuff where you could start like basically a business, you know, basically making a lot of money, but starting, you know, with like $1,000 there. You know, in some cases it could be a lot more than that too. But like a few right off the top is one, you could sell basically SEO services. That's a big one right there, including like a sub niche of that would be just selling like the schemas and stuff. You could also do like another thing is you could basically be an affiliate for almost anything, especially like high-end products and stuff, and you could rank, you know, use the keyword tool and stuff like that to find all the easier ones to rank for, especially review type terms. You could write either blog post reviews or video reviews and get ranked for all the easier terms, and over time, I guess we'll get lots of sales off that right there. But yeah, that's just a few ways right there. You can also do the same thing whether you're, you know, an affiliate or you're selling a service or a product yourself. You could use the lead tools to basically go out there and find guys that are looking for what you could sell them right there and reach out to them. You could sell a schema. That's one I think is like super easy to sell for like $500 to $1,000 up front, which can lead into like a reoccurring income right there. There's also social media management, which for like I've seen guys go from like anywhere from like a couple or a few $100s a month up to like a couple thousand a month, where they basically put the social media on autopilot, where there's basically a tool to help with that. So there's tons and tons of ideas, but definitely make sure to watch that video right there. All right, kind of already answered this one, and what's the best way to sell affiliate products using Webfire? So again, you could rank for various terms, especially review type terms. You could turn that into a video. You could find leads using the lead tools of basically people specifically asking questions on certain products or suggestions, and you can reach out to them there. All right, this person asked here, do you have training close to Birmingham, Alabama? I'm 70 miles from Atlanta. So the training we have is online, so it doesn't matter where you are. I don't know if you're asking like occasionally we'll have like a live workshop. Like we've had, I think one in London, or we think we probably had that two there. We've had one in Atlanta. We've had one in Madison at one point. I think we had one in like, I don't know, California or Florida. In the past, occasionally we'll have like a live workshop. But at the same time, like the mentality that you just said, and I think what you're basically saying is, hey, we had a workshop in Atlanta, which is 70 miles from you. Will we have one basically closer to you? The answer is probably not. Because it's like, if you're basically 70 miles from Atlanta, if we have a workshop in Atlanta, you should go to that one then. Because it's not like we can hit every city in the world, because we'd be doing that every day then. That's why we have most of the stuff available online right there. And if you're only like basically let's say an hour and a half drive away or so, if we had a workshop there, I definitely would jump on the opportunity to go there. All right, and looks like the dog shampoo lady said that she definitely could do the $5 a day budget. That's awesome right there, so glad that works. All right, so this person asked here, why am I advised not to put my direct affiliate links in an ebook or a blog post? It depends. Like what they're basically saying, like oftentimes an affiliate link looks really ugly. Like it might say website.com/12345 57A2ZB25, really, really, really long, and it just looks like, you guessed it, an affiliate link. Whereas if you have like a redirect, which would just be like website.com/recommends, or something along those lines, right there, it can be a shorter link that's easier to click on. Doesn't always look like an affiliate link. On a blog, I don't mind as much, as long as you if you use a longer affiliate link, at least like turn basically some text into a link itself. So you highlight essentially the text, and that's essentially your link. Same thing, like especially if you have like an ebook, you want the link to be like shorter. So that's where like a redirect would be good on that there. And don't overthink that too much, because like, again, there's lots of redirect type applications out there, but don't overthink that. You can have your own link that you turn into, like a redirect, especially if you're expecting like a lot of traffic. It might be worth it to get like your own domain name that redirects. If not, there's services like basically the tiny URL and stuff like that, which are all fine. All right, so the dog shampoo gal said that her upsells are squeak toys and leashes and collars. That's all fine right there. I would also encourage you, though, since you're selling the shampoo at the start, to have at least like the first upsell be related to the shampoo itself, and then move on to like the squeak toys and the collars and all that stuff, especially if it's like a cool one, like if it's like a flashlight collar, or like a glow-in-the-dark leash or stuff like that. That's like a neat one that could be like an impulse buy. But for like the first one, try to have it relevant to the shampoo. Like what's something, if I'm looking to clean my dog, what's something that would also help me have a clean dog? All right. All right, so I think this was the membership guy. Could be wrong here. Oh no, this was the B2B guy. He said that he has online programs which include financial competence for entrepreneurs and businesses and coaches and yada yada. So that's why he wants like the B to a B list. So as far as like, yeah, that's all fine right there. I would also like what you could do, like if you're trying to like sell, basically advice to help like an entrepreneur and stuff like that, on the financial side, I would also use some social media, and you could do some posts that would be of interest, like hey, how a business could save thousands of dollars with this simple financial trick or with this simple tax trick or whatever it might be. Like, have a topic of interest where you know, any business owner would be like super drawn to that. Like, it's like, hey, I want to see how I could save thousands on taxes with like a simple tweak. What's that? Or hey, I want to see how I could save thousands of dollars on this other thing. It kind of draws them in right there. You give them lots of info, and then you kind of like push them maybe kind of into you know, basically an opt-in of some kind. You could even like then basically push them into like a trial of yours. Anything like that can kind of get them into the membership. All right, this person asks here if I have any insights on the Google display network instead of just Facebook ads. Yeah, I mean, they're two completely different beasts, and it really depends on what your offer is. So basically, Google can be decent, especially their search, if you're selling something that someone's specifically searching for. Whereas Facebook is more of like, if you have like an impulse buy of like, let's say, a cool dog toy, you can target everyone that likes dogs that aren't necessarily looking to buy a dog toy, but you know that they like dogs, so they might be into like an impulse buy. On the display network, kind of like it's kind of in between both of those. That's where like you have your ads and stuff on other sites. There's ways where you can like pinpoint down specific sites that you know would be highly relevant to the offer that you have. But you can also go outside of the network and approach a lot of those sites directly yourself right there. So it really depends on what your product is, but it comes down to you want to basically test as much as you can there. All right. All right. Okay, going through a bunch of questions that are close to ones that we've already answered. We've already answered, so I'm just going through a bunch of them right now. All right, so Christine asked here, she said she has her products and her systems ready, except for her videos, and she's having issues basically putting videos on her site, and she wants to have suggestions if there's like a template or anything like that. It depends on what your site is. Like that's a really broad question without enough specifics. I mean, using like Blogger, it's super easy to add like a video in. WordPress, kind of the same way. But in general, if you're stuck on something like super simple, like let's say, you know, like you're trying to put like a video in like a side area and you keep messing up on that, there's basically people on Fiverr that for $5 will have that solved within a matter of minutes. And rather than waste like days and days and days trying to solve that, just pay a guy $5 to basically do that for you right there. All right. Beth said here, I think on the shampoo, she said she had to take it off of Amazon because her margins were too low on that. In that case, I would maybe look for a product that's either cheaper, because you said that was like a $22 product, that you could have it be like a better front end with maybe like a larger margin, or something just with a larger margin to start with. So that might, if it's a low margin and basically a $22 price point, that might not be the best product to have on the front end, unless you're basically able to get like, you know, a lot of sales next to competitors and stuff. But I'd say maybe spend some time to look for like other products that might be super cool, a lot less money, and maybe larger margins that would be a better front end, and then maybe still have that as, you know, as like a back end. So that's one thing that you could do right there. Okay. Another person asked here how they can land local clients. I gave a couple tips previously on that on this call. All right. See a bunch of other questions that Sean answered here. I'm saying, what else? I might be missing a prior question you had, Simon, but you said, please let me know if I can make a website for him. I'm not quite sure what you're referring to there, but maybe previously we're talking to Sean or something. But feel free to clarify in case I'm misunderstanding you. All right. All right, so this person asked right here, who should I target when they're basically an affiliate for a high ticket offer, like let's say Webfire? Well, you'd want to basically, I mean, that the easy answer is you'd want to target those that would be most interested in it, or who could most essentially benefit. For any high ticket offers, especially ones where it's like you could earn a decent amount of money, like hundreds to thousands of dollars a sale, it'd be worth your time to use like the lead tools and stuff like that, and to find leads out there and approach them and basically answer the questions that they have, but lead them into an offer. Like, let's say there's a guy that's saying, hey, I can't rank. Does anyone know why I can't rank? Maybe take like a couple minutes to look at a site and say, hey, looks like you don't have any good keywords, you know, in your title tag or your description tag. You could use a cool tool that I use, like Webfire right here, that analyzes that and fixes all that stuff to help you rank. Here's a link if you want to check them out right there. That's one way. Where if on the other end, like let's say there's a lead that hasn't really told you or essentially asked a question, there can also be ones that you know, you might find that, hey, there's a site that does not rank well at all, like they're on page 2 or page 3 and they should rank more. You can reach out to those guys right there, give them some basic tips that could really help them, and try to drive them to an affiliate offer of yours. You can also create like a bunch of mini lessons on videos or on blog posts on how to rank or how to do this or that, and then lead them, you know, in Webfire. And of course, you could swap out those with almost any other kind of like idea out there, so it wouldn't have to be SEO. Like if you wanted to sell, let's say massage chairs, like high-end ones for thousands of dollars, you could do the same thing. Like you could reach out to leads that are asking questions on the massage chairs. You could do reviews of some. You could try to rank for various keywords related to like questions and stuff that guys basically ask relevant to massage chairs. And each time kind of lead them on down to your affiliate link for the massage chair there. Okay. All right. So this person asked a great question right here. What is considered spammy on Facebook and social media? And also, I'll go as far as saying also on like forums and stuff like that. And you know, with that, it really is, you want to provide value first and foremost. Like, you know, you don't want to just say, click here and buy, or like, you know, if like a person says, hey, what should I look for in a dog shampoo? You don't want to just say, buy this. You know, that can maybe work sometimes, but you know, it should be more of like, hey, ideally you want a shampoo that contains this, this, and that. A good one at a decent price is this guy right here. That's basically providing a little more value first and foremost, and that's usually what will prevent you from getting, you know, a reply blocked or from you looking spammy and all that right there. It's basically essentially taking the time to offer value will solve almost all those issues right there. So with that, as I think they're basically answering a couple more questions on the text because they keep popping in. Because it's getting close to the end of the hour, I just want to make sure that there's time to do the giveaway. So with that, you want to make sure that you go to this link right here, because we'll basically pick a winner in a few minutes here. You want to go to getwebfire.com/FB group. Again, that's getwebfire.com/FB group. And if you're not already a free member of that, just click join. Sharon will approve you within like a minute or so. Towards the very top, you'll see a post from Sharon within the past hour. Make sure it's the right post. So we'll say it was basically posted in the past hour. where she's basically asking what you thought on today's call. If you click on the comment within that post right there and leave any comments saying what you thought or maybe suggestions for like a future topic or anything like that, we'll basically pick a random comment in just a couple minutes right here, and they'll get $100 that will PayPal to them shortly this afternoon. So if you want a chance to win $100, make sure to go to getwebfire.com/FB group. Leave a comment within only the posts that Sharon just posted up asking what you thought of today's call. Leave any feedback at all or future suggestions for topics or anything like that, and we'll pick a random winner in just a couple minutes right here. And with that, we'll give you guys maybe like another minute or so to ask any questions. And if by chance we miss a question, I know there were a handful of questions that were very similar. If by chance you think we missed one or anything like that, feel free just to write us at support@webfire.com, and we'll be sure to answer you. So no worries at all right there. Just make sure to write us at support@webfire.com, or in the members area, just click on the support tab. It'll take you to the help desk, and we'll answer you there as well. So I'll give you guys again about another minute to leave a comment. And yeah, then we'll go from there. All right. Let me see if there's any last minute questions that were missed that haven't been answered. All right, so there's a question here that's a good one, but you're overthinking. They're saying, do we have any kind of like a contractual paper for if you're landing like a deal, like let's say with SEO? No, for two reasons. One, we don't want to give you guys like legal type advice or anything like that for obvious reasons. But two, more importantly, typically with that stuff, I personally don't do contracts on most of that stuff. Reason why, if someone wants to screw you out of money, a contract isn't going to make much of a difference at all. And instead, oftentimes with the kind of services and stuff that you do, you can have them pay you each month and you do the work. Whereas if they don't, if they don't pay, you just don't do the work the next month or anything like that. So don't overthink that. I find oftentimes people tend to way overthink that stuff, and they'll have like a $500 deal, and they'll try to make a contract which just sounds scary. So don't overthink that. And yeah, as far as like when you talk to local businesses and stuff, you get your credibility from being basically confident in yourself and knowing the stuff well. And again, you can know the stuff well fairly easily just by following the training, using the tools, and all that. Don't overthink that. All right, so this person asks here, is there any advice you have on finding good keywords? Well, first use the keyword tool inside of Webfire, but two, more importantly, don't just look at the volume of traffic, look at the quality of the keyword. And what I mean by that is, does the keyword seem like it's the kind of keyword that a buyer would likely search for versus like a random person? Like, if you have a keyword of moped versus, buy moped online, the first one gets a lot more searches, but they might just be like random people, not necessarily buyers. The second one might get a fraction of the searches, but everyone is probably looking to buy a moped online. So even though there might be a lot less searches, that would be a good one to try to rank for, even if it's a fraction of the traffic, because they're good buyer type terms. And usually what's really awesome is a lot of the buyer type terms are much easier to rank for because they're less traffic, and they're sometimes like sometimes more long tail and stuff, so they're not as competitive. And if you pick like one or two a week that you want to try to optimize a page for, or a video, or like a blog post for, or anything like that, over time you can have like a spider web of small buyer type keywords that over time can grab a lot of traffic. Like not necessarily a ton overnight, but over time it can turn into a lot of traffic and stuff too. So that's kind of like one of the better ways to approach keywords, I think, right there. All right. All right, so as far as how big a keyword phrase can be, a person just asked that. They can be very, very long if you want, but obviously the longer it is, oftentimes the less likely it is to get searched. Now, you want to use the keyword tool to really find out, but even if it's like a real small one, typically if you've thought of it, someone else has too. So, you know, just think like, is it truly something that someone would search for if they're looking to buy, and use a little bit of common sense in that right there, and you should be fine. So with that, let's give some cash away right here. All right. Just going to switch over Windows real quick. Just going to refresh the page. All right, so the post, here's the page right here. If you scroll down, you see the post from Sharon in the past hour right here, basically asking what you guys thought of today's call. You click on comment right here and leave a comment. See, there's a good amount right there. I'll give you guys maybe 10 more seconds to leave a comment. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Count up just in case. All right, there's a couple that left it outside. That's okay. I'll count. So there's 2 that left it outside, and then 2 plus 51. So 53 in total. Sean, what do you think the winner will be? 1 to 53 randomly.
3.
Oh, let's see. All right. I'll click on generate.
I know that would be way too
10.
easy for you.
You're actually close. 10. So that's not too far off. All right.
Yeah, I was
1,
in the right half of
2, 3,
3.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. All right. So Francis Fillion, if this is you, congratulations. You are this week's winner. Or you will be as soon as you post up your PayPal email to Sharon. So just make sure to post that up in the chat, and we'll make sure to get you $100 over. So again, congrats to Francis Fillion for being this week's winner there. And yeah, and if you guys have any suggestions for like future topics or anything like that, feel free to let us know. And we'll try to obviously get that on some future training or on some videos on some webinars and all that right there. If there's a question that we missed or anything like that, feel free to reach out to us at support@webfire.com. And as always too, like there's like a couple members I saw here that had like questions like, hey, they couldn't install a video right, or they couldn't make like a website. Feel free to post that stuff up, you know, on the Facebook group right here, because chances are there's like a member here that, you know, maybe all they do is website stuff. Maybe all they do, you know, is the stuff that you have a problem with. And you can sometimes find guys basically on the cheap or are willing to help. So, you know, if you're stuck, feel free to post that up, and you'll probably get some help right there. So with that, hope you guys have a great rest of the week. And we'll talk to you later, guys. And once more, if you have any questions or anything, or if we accidentally missed anything, feel free to reach out to us at support@webfire.com. And with that, have a great rest of the day, and take care, guys. Bye-bye.